So what is Bitcoin backed by? Some say energy, others say math, scarcity, consensus. The answers vary wildly depending on who you ask. But before we can evaluate any of those claims, we need to ask a simpler question. What does backed by actually mean? In monetary history, backed by has always meant one thing: redeemable for something else. A gold certificate was backed by gold because you could redeem it for gold. A warehouse receipt is backed by grain because you can redeem it for grain. If you can't redeem it, it isn't backed by it. So what can you redeem Bitcoin for? Nothing. There is no redemption mechanism. You can only trade it for whatever someone else is willing to give you. Under the strict historical definition, Bitcoin is backed by nothing. But let's be generous. Let's stretch the definition. Sometimes backed by just means supported by something. A company backed by investors, a project backed by a sponsor, a person backed by a team. So who backs Bitcoin? Developers? Miners? Exchanges? The community? None of them actually back it. Developers write code, but they don't guarantee value. Miners enforce rules, but only when it's profitable. Exchanges provide liquidity, but only when it benefits them. And the community backs Bitcoin with belief, not collateral. Participation isn't backing. Voluntary involvement isn't backing. A crowd is not a guarantor. Even under the generous definition, Bitcoin is still backed by nothing. So why do people insist it's backed by math or backed by energy? Because they're not talking about backing. They're talking about properties. But properties are not backing. If backed by math meant anything, then your phone is backed by math. Your router is backed by math. Everything digital is backed by math. Even your toaster is backed by math. And if backed by energy meant anything, then aluminum is backed by energy. Steel is backed by energy. Concrete is backed by energy. Every manufactured object is backed by energy. These phrases sound deep, but they're empty. They describe how something works, not what guarantees its value. So what is Bitcoin actually backed by? Belief. Belief holds up the price. The price holds up miner revenue. Miner revenue holds up security. And security reinforces belief. Bitcoiners even describe it this way. It's valuable because it's secure, and it's secure because it's valuable. They say it casually, not realizing they're describing a loop. Belief drives price. Price drives security. Security reinforces belief. That's not backing. That's a feedback cycle. Bitcoin isn't backed by energy. It isn't backed by math. It isn't backed by code. It isn't backed by developers, miners, or institutions. Bitcoin is backed by belief. And belief is backed by narrative. And narrative, the myths, the slogans, the prophecies, the identity, is the only thing holding it up.